I've played 5-star Yangyang for several hours on the creator server, and she's quite a powerful main damage dealer in multi-wave and single target endgame modes. But the main issue in her kit design is that she has no way of transferring Havoc Bane stacks from one wave of enemies to another, which reduces her damage due to these passives in her kit design. She does, however, have a passive that allows her to transfer the maximum stacks of Havoc Bane on a previous wave of enemies that are still alive to a new wave of enemies that spawn in. So if you eliminate an entire wave of enemies, you'll have to build the Havoc Bane stacks back up again up to the maximum stacks that the enemy can have. Chisa can fix this issue to some extent because of this passive that she has, which transfers her mark that applies Havoc Bane to the next wave of enemies, but this isn't really a solution because it will take a while to stack another 6 stacks of Havoc Bane on a new wave of enemies. But aside from this flaw, particularly in multi-wave content, she's perfectly fine as a Havoc damage dealer. In today's video, I'm going to break down 5-star Yangyang's kit to make it very easy to understand how she works, best builds, and how much of a damage decrease you should expect in her non-best in slot teams to help you decide if you should pull or not. Keep in mind that every footage used in this video was captured on the creator server, so some things may be subject to change upon official release. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Playstyle. She has 2 modes which changes her gameplay, and you can switch between these modes with her resonance skill, which becomes available after doing a basic attack, as you can see right here. The default mode is called Azure mode, and this is how her basic attack animations looks like in this mode. The second mode is called Feather mode, and this is how her basic attack animations look like in this mode. She can consume these red stacks right here with her basic attacks in each of the modes that we looked at earlier, and when all the stacks are consumed, an enhanced skill will be available for her to use. So in the Azure mode, this is the enhanced skill that will be available, and using it will transition her into the Feather mode and give her one of the blue stacks right here. Fully consuming the red stacks in the Feather mode instead will also make this enhanced skill available, and using it will transition her into the Azure mode and give her the second blue stack right here. An enhanced heavy attack will be available when she has 2 blue stacks, and the attack animation will change based on which mode she's in. In the Azure mode, this is how the enhanced heavy attack looks like, and in the Feather mode, this is how the enhanced heavy attack animation looks like. The Feather mode attack does a lot of damage because it unlocks mid-air combos called Havoc in Bloom, which scales off heavy attack damage, but under normal circumstance, it should be used once per rotation, even though it does more damage since the animation is quite long. So in endgame, this is how her playstyle looks like. You intro, which will give you a blue stack, basic attack 4 times, skill, heavy attack, liberation, skill, and heavy attack. Keep in mind that this rotation can be altered with quick swap to reduce the time spent on every team's rotations, but that'll be discussed in the rotation section of this video. I'll still mess around a bit to see if squeezing 2 of the Feather mode heavy attacks in one rotation is better than the playstyle that I just covered, so look forward to an updated rotations guide in the future. Build. For weapons, if you cannot afford a signature weapon, Emerald Sentence or Choyan's signature weapon should be your first priority. It offers 30% heavy attack damage bonus after casting her Echo skill, and I highly advise that you use her Echo skill right after consuming all of her 40 stacks with basic attacks before using her enhanced skill, because all of the follow-up attacks after consuming the stacks are considered as heavy attack damage. This will make sure that you can squeeze all your heavy attack damage in the 12 seconds buff window of this weapon. You will encounter a damage loss of about 10.2% compared to her signature weapon. Second priority will be Emerald of Genesis with a damage loss of about 20.7%. Try to stay away from 4-star weapons as much as you can, but if you're a beginner and you don't have Emerald of Genesis, you can use Fables of Wisdom, which you can craft for free in Renacita as a placeholder until you can get your hands on the 5-star weapons that I recommended. For her echoes, best in slot will be the Song of Feathered Trace. 4 costs will be crit damage, 1000 Puppet Pavilion, 3 costs will be double havoc damage bonus, and 1 cost will be double attack percentage as usual. Substats priority will be crit rate, crit damage, and heavy attack damage bonus. Don't worry too much about energy regen because she gets some passively when consuming her 40 stacks. Prioritize at least 120% energy regen and you should be fine. Team building. I tested 6 different team compositions in End States Matrix and recorded the highest point each team gets after 10 runs for each team. Keep in mind that this is a team performance assessment, not the personal damage loss of Yangyang in particular in each team composition. Also keep in mind that a Toon Rupture buff was selected for every run to make it a fair comparison. So I was basically not receiving any buffs in End States Matrix during these runs. First place goes to Chisa, Rebecca, and Yangyang. This team actually surprised me quite a bit because I initially thought it will be one of the worst teams due to Rebecca's Ultra skill taking a while before you can gain all the heavy attack damage amplification. But her team-wide attack buff passive, team-wide attack buff from her signature weapon, and her ultimate stopping time came in quite handy and surpassed all the teams that I tested. This will be the team that all teams will be compared to. Second place goes to Chisa, Mortefi, and Yangyang with a damage loss of 8.6%. It could have been worse if I wasn't quick swapping between Chisa and Mortefi, and Mortefi's damage contribution is very low, but he makes up for it with a low field time requirement with quick swapping. Third place goes to Chisa, Yuno, and Yangyang with a damage loss of 11.5%. This team could have also been worse if I wasn't quick swapping between Chisa and Yangyang. Fourth place goes to Chisa, Frolova, and Yangyang with a damage loss of 16.2%. I was only quick swapping between Chisa and Yangyang, but it could have been better if you can quick swap all 3 characters, but I'm afraid my controller cannot handle that. Fifth place goes to Chisa, Electro Rover, and Yangyang with a damage loss of 19.4%. Sixth place goes to Shorekeeper, Rebecca, and Yangyang with a damage loss of 31.4%. So if you don't have Chisa, I don't really recommend pulling for Yangyang. Rotations. I'll be covering the rotations for the Yuno Chisa team composition, but you can alter it to fit any team because we'll be implementing a little bit of quick swap. Here's the build that I'll be using on all teammates. You first start with Chisa's skill and basic attack up to the scissors animation. Swap out of that animation to Yangyang and basic attack to consume some of the 40 stacks. Swap back to Chisa before the scissors animation is completed and cast her liberation. Skill, but swap out of the skill animation to Yangyang and basic attack to consume some stacks. Now go back to Chisa. Hold your basic attack button until the second chainsaw animation starts, and as soon as that animation starts, you can swap out of that animation as well to Yangyang to finish consuming her 40 stacks. This saves you time that you would have wasted on consuming the stacks after an intro skill. Swap back to Chisa to finish the chainsaw animation and intro to Yuno. Liberation, jump, skill, spam basic attacks, skill, heavy attack, and intro to Yangyang. Echo skill, skill, hold basic attack, liberation, skill, and hold basic attack to finish the rotation. Now intro to Chisa and rinse and repeat. Sequence explanations. S1 deals additional damage considered as heavy attack damage whenever she uses her enhanced skills with a 338% increase multiplier. This is nothing crazy if you're interested in more damage buffs. Enemies are now frozen whenever you use her enhanced skills, and all the heavy attacks from her fortress circuit are now immune to interruption. S2 increases her main damage source multipliers by 100%. This is a pretty substantial buff which significantly increases her damage, so this should be her best early sequence if you're interested in increasing her damage but you don't want to spend too much on sequences. If she stays out of combat for more than 4 seconds, she gains 2 blue stacks, which is very useful in the overworld. S3 makes her liberation hit like a truck. Her enhanced skills now applies 3 Havoc Bane after an Intra skill, and her basic attacks and Forte heavy attacks now applies additional Havoc Bane. Keep in mind that this sequence is meant for her to be self-sufficient with Havoc Bane application, but it doesn't really fix the Havoc Bane transfer issue in multi-wave content. Don't bother with S4 unless you want to go for S6. 20% team-wide attack buff is nothing special for the investment that you have to make until you get to S4. Don't bother with S5 unless you want to go for S6. It's basically a Verena and Shorekeeper revive passive. You don't need this. Her S6 is pretty much called the Power of Friendship. The first part grants 40% damage bonus to all her heavy attack damage that she can do. For the second part, whenever she uses her enhanced skills, any negative status that her and her teammates applies from off-field will trigger a corresponding Havoc damage with a 338% multiplier considered as heavy attack damage. Keep in mind that she needs to be on field for this to happen. The additional damage trigger has a cooldown of 1 second, so that means you can do that additional damage every second if you're continuously applying negative status stacks with her or her teammates from off field. But once you summon 5 of these additional damage, you can only start triggering them again after 25 seconds, which is understandable because if that wasn't the case, you could literally kill bosses in AFK mode with Bulin's off-field Electro Flare application. That'll be all for my Yangyang SP or 5-star Yangyang character breakdown. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to help support the channel because it's free and you can always change your mind. Our Discord link will be in the pinned comment if you're having any issues with the game or you just want a place to chill or hang out. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.